21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
The talent today really is not enough. It will certainly get your foot in the door or you in the room, but in reality, there are thousands of artists out there. It's highly competitive. So while you might be very talented and amazing at your craft, you also have to think like an entrepreneur. You are a small business, whether you realize it or not. So that is ensuring that you are maintaining, relevancy across your social media, maintaining relationships with publicists and editors, with other colleagues, and you're really just putting yourself out there in the best way you can. That's really what it takes, in 2026, beyond just having an incredible talent and, craft as a creative in this industry.
I think there's a lot of curiosity behind award season and artistry, but for me, I reference award season and Met Gala and Cannes Film Festival as the Super Bowl season, not just the Super Bowl. The Met Gala is the Super Bowl, but for me, it's the lead up and the preparation, because a lot of the time, you don't know who you're working with until maybe a month or even a week or 2 days before. And so as we, end up winding down in December, we think to ourselves, January 4th is the first day, which is very convenient. You have no vacation of award season, and that starts with the Golden Globes. And so from the Golden Globes, which is in January, till the end of May, you're really strategizing about who that individual is going to be working with. What brands and conversations can you have to set yourself up and your client up for success in those moments? So because there's so much preparation for these events, for the celebrities and the makeup artists, what is the person wearing? What brand are they wearing? What events are they going to? With that information, it gives us the leveraging point to reach out to top brands to create the conversation of, what are you guys looking to do with your marketing efforts towards celebrity and brands as a whole for the whole year? How can we kind of forge the relationship between our clients and those brands, even though we don't know who they're working with yet, just so that they know our name and what's on the pipeline, so that when it does pop up last minute, we say, oh, I know the brand that wants to work with celebrities during this season. We have to reach out to them, and we have to secure something that's so fabulous that they're going to say that person created such great content that maybe we do have an opportunity for a global ambassador for the next year, or, during summertime, it's slow. Right after Met Gala and Cannes Film Festival, can we create any content for you for summertime? But for me, I think that the Met is the most exciting event in the glam world. It's not only the ability to showcase your client in the most fashion forward way, but it creates the conversation with brands that it does create such excitement. The celebrities getting their facials, they're getting, different beauty processes to look their best. And at the end of the day, the major beauty brands are looking for, a voice to communicate why their product reads so well on camera, the best face prep for looking your best for, the best red carpet kind of conversation. And we've certainly had very last minute snafus, which adds the excitement of the day. We usually fly into New York just to be on the ground to, nurture those last minute kind of complications that do arise in a day such as that. But I think that it is the Super Bowl because brands put such heavy they really come through with the, finances on those days. And so frankly, if you do it right, it is, it can be extremely beneficial for your agency and your client, but also I've had people, long story short, I've had people be able to create relationships with new clients during those times. Maybe their makeup artist gets sick or their hairstylist pulls out last minute, where then they can, slip in and I can suggest them to that publicist. And then here they are now working together. So I think award season is a fabulous time. I think it's high pressure for us. We have to hit goals. We have to hit deadlines. We have to really maximize that time. But I think it's very exciting. Behind the scenes and social media did not exist before Instagram. And I think that one of the first things that I found so attractive about Instagram was that you really could develop a portfolio in a curated way that was never seen before. Most of my top clients, or most of my clients that I've ever signed, and I think that what made them so unique was that they put their clients in a behind the scenes way on their social media, which was unheard of. And they created looks on either on themselves or on their clients that became trend worthy, or they became looks that they wanted to have other people create. Not that they wanted to, but it became naturally. And so as an agent, meeting individuals that their clients found them on that platform. I mean, I would say 5 of my clients, my top clients, were found on Instagram. Before, it was your agent brokering the relationship between the publicist and the artist. And Instagram created an opportunity for, artists to market themselves, but also be found on those platforms, and then pass that opportunity off to their agent to, leverage and really nurture the relationship and see how it went. Let me not misspeak here, but the older makeup artists that were never to be in front of the camera, they were always behind the camera. It took a moment to really understand where the industry was going. You were never to be in front of the camera. You were never to create content on yourself and post it, or even take BTS photos of your clients. Your job was to make them look beautiful and be behind the scenes. And Instagram created a whole new opportunity that, you were able to share what products you used on that client. You were able to kind of have that conversation with the viewers and the followers that never was an opportunity before. Some people played that to their advantage better than others. And I think that when I met those individuals, I was like, you're mediagenic, you're great on camera, you articulate yourself well, you have fabulous clients, I have to sign you. And naturally, it either worked out. I've been with most of my clients for almost a decade. It was an introductory time where this is a new idea, new platform to be able to introduce yourself, and either you got on board or you didn't. And then years later, you learned, oh, that was at the detriment of myself, to not really understand that Instagram is not going away. These platforms are not going away. People want more behind the scenes. That's why reality TV went so well. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what, the Kardashians are wearing, or, what products they're using. And that is why those individuals launch their own brands. And then that's why with all of our clients that have that kind of attitude, that they did embrace it, it is only natural to have the conversation of, okay, you do need your own brand, or we do need to come out with a capsule collection with a brand that understands you. So talent and the way of doing, makeup and the whole entire beauty industry has changed so much in a 10-year span, 14-year span. It's extremely exciting.
Piggybacking off of Marissa saying, you got it, you don't. We have been so lucky to represent clients that do have it. They are very talented artists with amazing clients, but also personalities on social media. And we're able to, what I think makes our agency so unique is that we have an intentionally small roster of clients. So we're able to nurture and help our clients with both the day-to-day bookings as their agents, but also as their managers, help them with the long-term career guidance, because that is what when Marissa and I started our agency now 6 years ago, that was the gap we saw. We saw so many agencies, larger agencies, obviously having the ability to have rosters of 50 to over 200 people, which is amazing in some degrees. But for us, in order to really have that hands-on approach and really provide the career guidance and strategic vision for each of our clients, we can only do that with a certain amount of people that we represent.
While you're a smaller agency, you do have dreams of scaling up. It's very easy to think, hey, we'll just sign talent, we'll just sign talent. And I think that if you have a mission or if you have a thought process and who you specifically want to keep on your roster and not kind of guide away from that, you keep the integrity and the authenticity of your agency. And that really creates a reputation of, we might be small, but we're very focused on how we can provide top tier service to our clients. Not only our individuals on our roster, but also the brand representation, publicists, brands in different parts of the world. We definitely like to keep friends in global places. And I think that because we do keep that mindset as a priority, that's where we've been able to scale up. It's not in the grandest way, but we've been able to scale up in a very short amount of time that we're very proud of.
As agents and talent representation, I think people don't really understand really what goes into that, because our team is so nimble. Not only are we providing excellent service to our clients with career strategy and development and having them think like entrepreneurs and engaging them with different brands, we're also doing behind the scenes logistics for all of their travel and coordination. So we're effectively a concierge travel service and agent in addition to our regular jobs. So that means high attention to detail. It's asking a lot of questions. Something I think we've learned over and over again in this business is you cannot trust the other party to do their job. You have to take complete ownership and always double check what people are doing, because you can't assume anything. There's been so many situations, and I've learned this time and time again, where I just assume one bit of a large puzzle, and that one assumption makes the whole, a domino effect, or makes a puzzle crumble, because I assumed one small, even in my mind, insignificant piece that ends up ruining everything. And that could be anything from a car pickup time to getting the wrong approved caption on a piece of content that can't be deleted. So
creative.
Yes.
Creative briefs.
Yeah, creative briefs. So we do so many things, and we hope with everyone that we sign, and again, bringing back to why we are intentionally a smaller agency, is because we are doing all those things on behalf of each of our clients. And in order to do that at a high level, you have to really be in communication with your clients and know your client's business inside and out. And I think that's something Marissa and I really pride ourselves on in the respective people that we represent. I love beauty, I love fashion, I love art, I love entertainment. So whenever I see a red carpet look or an editorial that my client's been a part of, I have such pride in that, and I have such love for that. And in addition to that, with content creation, when I see a really amazing, engaging, entertaining, or funny piece of content that people and audiences are resonating with, that really inspires me, because obviously we're involved with the whole process from brokering the relationship to getting the content live. So I definitely have pride in that. And then, lastly, we've been lucky to been a part of some significant brand collaborations. So product launches with our clients' names on them that they've been involved in, from creating the product to all the way again to launching it and seeing it on shelf in an Ulta or Sephora. That is, that makes all the hard work worth it and makes me want to do more.
I think my driving force was established when I first became an agent about 15 years ago. I had a mentor named Madeline Leonard, who is the business owner of a smaller agency called Cloutier Remix. And she really established the mentality of being an advocate for artists. Do whatever it takes to get things to the finish line, stay up until, whatever time in order to get your client to the destination. And that was really the driving force of my discipline. I think I'm extremely disciplined on wanting success for my clients and myself. I love the industry. It has its highs and lows, but I think that being able to create community for artists and individuals has always been my number one. With that mentality, by being able to have such a support system early on, she said, whoever you want to sign, whoever you find, go for it. And when I first met Patrick Taw, I saw something so unique in this person because he was appealing to so many audiences. Now, here's a man that worked 5 bookings in a day, traveled the world, went from, Spain to Australia, back to a different country. He was going all over the world in such a short amount of time before his beauty brand. And even now, I work so heavily with his beauty brand because I think being a team and really nurturing that attitude of how do we grow not only this individual, but how can I be a part of his brand strategy? We all work together.
I think Marissa and I, why this partnership works and relationship works is because we are so different. We are the true yin and yang. We are a Gemini and a Capricorn / Sagittarius as myself. That, Marissa's a very powerful person. She's very direct. She approaches business, and I've learned so much from her because there's what is in Marissa is what I feel like 2 degrees with what is missing with me. And I'm hopeful there's a little of what I have that she can learn from, but where I approach things a bit more softer and a more, I try to be a bit more like calm and relaxed in my approach with management, with dealing with brands, with dealing with crazy situations and the crisis that we have endured and so many situations. Because I think really in this industry and certainly in our job, like a lot can go wrong. You're dealing with a lot of personalities and egos, and we really have to be the North Star and super grounded and when we speak to our clients, because they do listen to what we say, whether they take our advice or not, they are listening to the words we're saying and they mean a lot. So I think we're able, with a certain client, we're able to give them both perspectives and different, Marissa and I both have, I think, similar points of view, but also different at the same time. So I think that's something that has been really valuable in our business. Advice for aspiring entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs would be relationships are everything. Obviously, Marissa and I started this company because we met each other 13 years ago. And because we we maintain as coworkers. And because we maintained a relationship during those 13 years, when we found ourselves at, the brink of COVID, about to be furloughed, we both came together and we started our agency. And so I think anyone, when you're thinking about building a team or starting a business, think about the people around you that you know and you trust that can help you and leverage that. And from the day we started our agency, we had friends do favors that we used to work with, whether they were attorneys or publicists or brand developers, accountants. We had, and these were all people we had all previously worked with or met while, at some point during our careers. And had we not had those relationships, we would have been doomed. We would have been in debt. We would have been lacking in so many areas. But because Marissa and I both, we maintained solid relationships and knowledge, that we just learned, we were able to do that. And I would just say also, educate yourself. Always try to learn and grow. Even if you think you're already an expert in a space, always continue to challenge yourself, because every industry, whether it's this one or anything I can imagine, is changing and evolving. So stay curious, learn, watch panels, attend events, listen to podcasts. And that, I think, has been, my number, or a big piece of advice that I, try to give to others.
I think being an entrepreneur, I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had $800 in my checking account. I got furloughed and I said, I have these fabulous clients. They can't know that I have nowhere to go. I can't lose them. I've invested way too many years. And it was a very scary time. But what I knew was that COVID was an opportunity for those that had social to really understand it more. And I said, guess what, guys? Instead of behind the camera, you're going to be on the camera, and you're going to start churning out content on a very consistent level. And I think that, being able to broker deals between our clients and beauty brands that needed the visibility during that time, it was what took us over to being able to have a fuller roster. People saw what we were doing. Oh my gosh, how are her clients getting deals during COVID? Because I kept writing the brand saying, hey, you need content? I have the people. We have great educators. And because those individuals saw that we were, performing at a high level during such a challenging time, they would refer us to other people that were like, new clients that we could sign. And so being an entrepreneur was learning how to use QuickBooks, learning how to, be sure that our agency had all the legal, necessities to be a qualified agency, everything. There was no handbook on how to do this. And I definitely wanted to be the captain of my own ship. I think Lauren is my best partner. We've known each other for not 13 years. You make us so young, but, we actually went to high school together. And I think the foundation of family, I've known her family for so long, and I treat my clients like family. And you stick with people through the highs and the lows. And being an entrepreneur, you have your highs, you have your lows. And I think that mentality is going to take us through, a lot of different things in life. Work is not everything, but relationships are. And so if you stick with that mentality, you're golden.
If you want to find us, you can visit our Instagram, which is @thepartners. We just launched our TikTok @thepartners, and then our website, www.thepartners.com.
Don't be confused. It's called PRTNRS.com
is the spelling.
'21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.